Hi guys, my name's Emma and today I decided to make some recipes from the Oregon Trail. The first recipe I'm going to be making is hasty pudding. I'm starting out with cornmeal, salt, and water. The first thing I'm doing is boiling 3 cups of water and half a teaspoon of salt. I'm doing this on my natural gas stovetop, but people on the Oregon Trail would have used an actual fire and they wouldn't have used filtered water. And then you're going to add your cornmeal and stir for about 20 minutes until it gets a thick consistency. So this is the hasty pudding. I give it like a 3 out of 10. It's really salty, kind of reminds me of mashed potatoes, but if I had to survive, it would be all right. So the next thing I'm going to be making is beef jerky. I'm using cattle thin steaks, but people on the Oregon Trail either would have had to kill cattle or a buffalo, and they skin them, cut it up, and then would cook this over a fire until the meat was really dry. I'm preheating my oven and I'm just going to be cooking it until it is completely dry. And then I'm going to be putting my meat into the oven. So I just took the beef jerky out and it is cooked all the way through. This is what it looks like. So I just took a bite of the beef jerky and it's definitely burnt. And it definitely has a beef jerky consistency and it tastes like beef jerky too. Obviously beef jerky that you buy at the store today has some artificial flavoring and some seasoning, so it's a lot better. And this is more burnt. Overall, not too bad. It's kind of what I was expecting, but you can see that it's definitely a jerky consistency. For my final recipe, I'm going to be making something called Johnny Cakes. I'm using butter, cornmeal, salt, baking powder, molasses, low-fat buttermilk, and eggs. 2 cups of cornmeal, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 2 cups of buttermilk, a tablespoon of molasses, some of it sunk to the bottom, but it's in there, 2 beaten eggs, tablespoon of butter. I am then going to be putting the mixture in the pan, and then I'm going to be putting it in the oven. So I just pulled the Johnny Cake out of the oven and this is what it looks like. It looks a lot like cornbread. So I just took a bite of the Johnny Cake and I would say this kind of tastes like the hasty pudding, but in a cake form. All this food is really plain, not a lot of flavor. Again, probably like a 4 out of 10 maybe. Worse than cornbread, even though it is made with cornmeal. I would eat this to survive, but I would not be too happy about it. So I just want to talk a little bit about these recipes and the Oregon Trail a little bit. So the Oregon Trail was a really long journey for a lot of people. A lot of people didn't survive. They died of diseases and starvation. And these recipes were really quick and really easy for people to use. So talking about the beef jerky, that was super easy for them because they could kill the animal on their way or whenever they came across the animal and dry the meat and then be able to store it for a long amount of time. And they were able to not stop and keep going, but have something to eat. And the hasty pudding and the Johnny Cake to me are really similar because they're both made with a lot of the same ingredients. The hasty pudding only had 3 ingredients, and that's because they couldn't keep a lot in their wagon. They had to figure out what they really needed. And water is easy to find. Well, not easy to find, but if you can get a river, you can get water, bring some salt, and then cornmeal. Cornmeal, they were able to make a lot of different things. And then the Johnny Cake was also made from cornmeal, water, and some other things. Cornmeal is definitely, cornmeal were definitely huge staples in their diet because it was easy to store and they could make a good bit out of it and it was pretty filling. So these people definitely had to use less ingredients but make different types of things. So they did the best with what they could. These definitely aren't my new favorite foods, but if I was, you know, on the Oregon Trail, I don't think they're bad foods. And I really enjoyed making these and getting a glimpse of what they ate. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.